Okay, so we are customizing WordPress, and last time we changed the appearance, we customized the appearance. We're now going to look at, I want to do some heavier customization. Um, I want to include my own JavaScript, and I happen to know there is a plugin that does this. And so what I'm going to have to do is download a plugin. You can download plugins and you can download themes. So the themes we saw, these are the themes that they gave us. If we wanted to add another theme, there's a mechanism for doing that. And if we want to add a plugin, there's a mechanism for doing that. If I look at the installed plugins, these are the plugins that I get by default. And I happen to know there is a plugin called something like header and footer. WordPress plugin header and footer code, custom headers and footers. These are people advertising their plugins. I wonder if it's that one. Click on that. So I found this just from searching online. It's taking a long time. wordpress.org, custom headers and footers. This is not the one I'm looking for. I've been to it before. It might be this one. So third parties can publish their content. No, it's not that one. Oh, I'm gonna give up in a minute. Okay, what I'm going to do is search the plugin directory. So I'm at wordpress.org and I'm going to search for the thing, I think it's called header and footer. That's how I found it last time. And I remember the picture. This was the picture. Header and footer scripts, that's what I want. Okay, so these people have generated a plugin and they've got average of 4 stars, lots of downloads. Obviously, you want to be a little bit careful about letting other people run their code on your site, but I reason to believe this one is a safe one to do. So, header and footer script, I want to find that, and I think I can do it from here. Oh yeah, I can search. Oh, this is where I should have searched for my own site. Header and footer. Search the plugins at WordPress. Okay, so I'm still within my site, but it's giving me the same search results. Okay, so this is the one I want. So I'm in my own WordPress. Here I went directly to wordpress.org, and here I am in my own WordPress site doing the same search across wordpress.org. So let's try installing. And I think what they're doing here is asking to log into my machine and make the changes on my server. There is no way I'm going to let anyone do that. SSL, yeah, I could do that. I don't think they could possibly get through because I'm behind a firewall for one thing. I don't think there's any danger of this working, and there's no way I'm going to type my password into their space. I'm worried that they've auto-completed that. They could have grabbed my password already. Don't trust these people. Well, I trust them. I just don't trust them enough to give them a password to my server. So I'm definitely not going to do that. I've got to find another way to download. Install now. What does that do? No, not going to do that. Let's look at it here. This was the same place, I think. Download the version. Okay, let's download it as a zip. Didn't particularly want to do that. Have they got GitHub or something like that? Oh, here we go. GitHub, that'll do. That's a bit more convenient. So I want to clone or download. Okay, let's take that, copy it, and I need to put it in a particular place. So let me find, here we go, quit. Okay, so cd dot dot slash dot dot, where am I? WP content. I'm hoping there's a plugins directory. Yep, cd plugins. ls, and I've got a couple of plugins there, but what I want to do is git clone and that address that they gave me, header and footers, yep, let's do that. Okay, ls again, and there's header and footer scripts, and there's bound to be lots of files in there. What's it called? Yep, okay, so there's a few files that they've put in, but that effectively has installed it, but not necessarily activated it. So let's go back to my installed plugins. Okay, so these ones here, I don't know what they do, but I had them. This is the new one here, header and footer scripts. That's the one I've just installed. And if I click on activate, I'm guessing that'll activate it. Okay, looks like it's done it. Activate it. Okay, I've activated it. Now what do I do? I want to use it now. I can deactivate it. I can view the details. I want to make it go. Okay, figuring out what that plugin actually did isn't terribly obvious. But turns out that in settings, can you see under settings, I've now got header and footer scripts, which I didn't have before. So the plugin activated and gave me this extra option in settings, header and footer scripts. Okay, I can put a script in the header. It looks like it's just letting me type stuff in. So this will be printed in the head. Let's try console.log. Andrew was here. Okay, console.log. Andrew was here. Save settings. And let's get the console up. Press F12. I want console. And we'll reload and see if it didn't seem to do anything. Sources. That was the CSS. Here is the WordPress network. So this is my WordPress site. Control F. Andrew was here. Okay, it's just dumped it in the head. It hasn't put it in a script tag. All right, let's do that properly. So to make it actually do it, I've got to enclose that in a script tag / script and save settings. And now reload this with the console running. Reload. And there we go. Console log Andrew was here. So I can put my own script in there, or I could put in script source equals whatever I want, and I can write my JavaScript program and have that program run. That would be a sensible way to do it, although I must admit I'm kind of tempted just to copy and paste my script directly into here. The advantage of doing that is that it makes shifting my site easier. If I put the actual code that I want to run in here, it will load when the page loads, so it'll get loaded in line instead of having to make an extra call. But more importantly, it will save this information, I'm guessing, in the database, which means that if I want to move my site to another host, it's one less thing to worry about. I'm not updating the theme in any way. This script will get saved in the database and it will move around. If I back up the database and move it somewhere else, then yeah, I can move to another server. And you always want to be thinking about how can you move your site to another server. Servers never last forever. You don't want to tie yourself to one provider, one host. You want to be able to sack your host and move to another one anytime you like, and you want to be able to do that reasonably conveniently. You also want to make sure that you back up your site content. While I'm here, let's quickly do that. Let's back up the site content. This really should be another video, but this is an important thing. So what I want to do is to back up my content. Let's cd, and you'll remember I can do MySQL will run that, and I can say show tables, and in these tables is the whole of my my WordPress content. So you can back up a MySQL database using the dump command. let me cat my MySQL file. So this is the command to get into MySQL, and if I prefix that with dump, sorry, if I say MySQL dump, then what it will do is spit out all the SQL required to create that database. Run that, and there it was. That was all my stuff. It went by too quickly, and so, okay, I'm worried that you can see my password. That's okay, it's encrypted and you see my password anyway. I can dump that, and I can pass it to a file. Let's call that wordpress.sql. I could give a better name than that. Let's give it the date. So it's 2017 minus 02 minus 08. Right, so that's my backup taken today. And that's SQL file. So that's done it, and that's my file, ls-l. Where is it? Lost it. There it is there. Okay, wow, that's quite impressive. That's like half a megabyte. So that is the content of my WordPress site, and I need to put that file somewhere else on another server ideally. That way I can recreate my WordPress site using this data. So as I add content, as I add pages, and indeed these header and footer scripts, that kind of stuff is going to be stored in that SQL file. Let's have a quick look at it, just because I'm curious. WordPress, so what words did I put in? So I put stuff in, visit site, web technologies. Let's look for an unusual word. Human-computer interaction. Okay, let's go here. If I do search human, there it is there. Human, oh, human made, okay. Goodness. Wow. Human-computer interaction. I'm worried about all that other stuff. I'm wondering if I'm getting spammed already. I don't think so. But there's the phrase human-computer interaction. All of the text that I've added has gone in, is in this SQL. It's encoded. It's not readable. You're not intended to look at this kind of stuff, but we know it's there, and we know that we can get it back. That was spooky. That the word human showing up 3 times. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it just yet.